Hello and welcome to the Category Mistake. I'm your host, Richard Mariello, and I've a little slow on the uptake this week. I had a procedure done and my throat did not like it too much. So my throat's even a little more raspy than normal this week. This week I'm going to talk about two words or three words, depending on how you say it, that we as Americans, we as humans, we as myself at least, struggle with. It's saying the words, I'm sorry, or I am sorry, or sorry. It's funny we say it, but do we mean it? Do we actually mean we're sorry? Do we actually mean, hey, I screwed up? Hey, I really apologize. Hey, I really want to work things through? Or do we say it to make people who we offended or we got upset leave us alone? And I feel like we're doing more of the latter than of the first. A lot of times I catch myself saying I'm sorry to people, even if I'm not, just to shut them up. And it's funny, that phrase used to be, I apologize for my indiscretions. Then we shortened it to, I am very sorry, to I am sorry, to I'm sorry, to sorry. We keep making it shorter and shorter and shorter. Why do we do that? Maybe so it doesn't hurt so bad, or maybe because it's an easier response when we're really not thinking about what we're doing. I've had to say sorry a lot in my life. Normally because I screw up a lot. But sometimes, I'll be honest, I say it not because I'm actually sorry, but I say it because it's the right thing to do, or I was told to by my parents, or I was told it was what you're supposed to do if someone's offended by you. And if anyone knows anything about me, I say a lot of things sometimes that offend people without even trying. Most of the time, it's really without trying at all. It just comes out of my mouth and my filter isn't as good as maybe others. That doesn't mean that I'm trying to hurt someone's feelings. It doesn't mean that I'm trying to offend somebody. And I think that's the difference in the words I'm sorry today, is if you're saying something truly hurtful, or if you're doing something truly hurtful and it really hurt somebody and you did it maliciously, absolutely apologize, change your ways, figure it out. But telling somebody the truth and it hurts their feelings, why are we apologizing for it? Why do we apologize? Because someone else doesn't like hearing the truth about a situation. Now, it could be that the truth is something they're not ready to hear yet. It could be that the truth is something that they've never heard because most of their life they've been told what they wanted to hear, so people, so they can have warm, fuzzy feelings. But truth is the truth. It doesn't matter if it hurts your feelings or not. If, you tell me the sky is blue and I say it's purple and you scream at me saying, no, it's blue. And I say, well, you're hurting my feelings. You shouldn't say sorry to me because I'm wrong. If I'm telling somebody, hey, you're a criminal, or hey, you're doing the wrong thing, and they're like, no, I'm not. This is my truth. The truth is the truth. There is a lot of gray in the world. There's a lot of, things that you think of that are pretty mediocre. Like you don't know what really is truthful. But there are some things that are very black and white, very one way or the other. It's not the Christian code. It's not the Muslim code. It's not the Jewish code. Everyone knows as a human, murder is wrong. Okay. If we have a moral code, murder is wrong. It doesn't matter if your truth is, I want to kill people. It doesn't mean you're right. Killing people is wrong. We don't need a holy book. We don't need a judge. We don't need, anyone telling us that murder is wrong. Okay. We just know it is. It's in our DNA. It's in our human genome to know killing somebody, bad. Stealing, bad. You don't need to say, well, I needed that iPod or iPad or AirPods or computer more than somebody else. So I took it. That's not right. We don't need anyone telling us that stealing is wrong. And then we get to this. What if you're stealing food because you're hungry, because your kids are starving? Now, there are programs out there to help people, but not everyone understands how to use those programs. Is that wrong or is that right? That's the gray area. If you're stealing a pair of AirPods, probably not a gray area. Stealing some strawberries, a little different. Stealing milk, eggs, bread, different, and that's the difference there. Saying you're sorry doesn't always mean that you're actually sorry, though. Saying you're sorry doesn't actually always mean that you think you did something wrong. I say it a lot. I've said that before. I say I'm sorry quite a bit. Usually, honestly, to my wife. I will say stuff or I'll do something where I think I'm right. I think I'm doing the right thing. I think my brain is thinking this through the correct way. And then she lets me know that I'm not. Now, have I said sorry to her even though I'm not sorry? Absolutely. Will I continue to do that? Probably. I guess the difference is that when I do say sorry to her, I try my best to at least know why I'm saying it. Am I saying it to make her happy? Am I saying it to stop a conversation from getting too heated? Or am I saying it because, it's just my normal reaction? I think a lot of it is I've been trained from a young child till, later on. I've been trained to apologize if someone says I'm wrong. Even if I don't agree with it, I've been just told, you know what, you're wrong. Apologize. And that was probably from my upbringing of my parents, mostly my mother. And so I've learned how to do that. But lately what I've realized is maybe I should actually be sorry or actually feel like I've done something wrong before I just start apologizing. Should I apologize because I'm supposed to or apologize because I want to? I think apologizing or saying you're sorry should be because you want to, because you see the error of your ways, because you understand that you've hurt somebody. There's psychological conditions where people, they don't have empathy. They don't have that feeling. They don't see themselves ever doing something that's wrong. And unfortunately, and I'm not categorizing everybody this way, a lot of those people are people who kill people, who steal, who do things to hurt other people. Charles Manson never once said he was sorry because he thought he was right. Dahmer, Manson, Gacy, all these people who were vile human beings never thought they were wrong. And I think that's a challenge we have today, because in today's society, we're told to live your truth. No one can tell you what your truth is. Well, yes, we can. If you're out there beating up a person or hitting your dog or running over a cat or killing people or slapping your child around and, making them hurt and bleed and scream and cry and curl up in a ball, you're beating your wife or you're beating your husband or you're threatening to kill somebody, that's wrong. I don't care if it's your truth. You're wrong. My dogs, they frustrate me. They do. But I don't kick them. When I'm upset with my wife, I don't beat her with my hands or a stick. We scream at each other, we yell at each other, and then we work it out. Because that's what you do. Human beings, we need to converse. But I don't say to my wife, this is my truth and you need to respect it. That's not how the world works. That's not how it should work. I've been hearing lately how all these people are telling me I'm living my truth and this is my truth. But it's not. 10 minutes ago, your truth was different. And you know what? You can live your truth. I don't care if you live your truth, as long as your truth doesn't hurt or interfere with reality. If you say my truth is, I'm a woman, and great, you're a woman. Now, if your truth is, I'm a woman and you need to treat me like that, I'll do my best. Or my truth is, I'm a woman and I want to beat up on people because, the men have been downgrading women forever. There's where I draw a line. Or, hey, my truth is I want to slap people because they're stupid. I have that feeling every day. I don't do it. Once you cross that line from my truth is for me to my truth is for everybody else, and if they don't respect my truth, then I can do whatever I want to them, that's the line that you can't cross. I don't agree with most of the politicians in our world. I just don't. They're not really for the people anymore. But I'm watching the new presidential nominee, Kamala Harris. They said to say it like a comma and then la. Harris, who wasn't duly elected in a primary. She wasn't elected the correct way. And when I bring it up, people are like, well, that's just the truth. It's not. That's not how elections work. And then I'm watching, Trump, and he's talking about the truth behind this and the truth behind that. He's talking about his truth, and he wants us all to believe it. He's delusional. Kamala is delusional, where she thinks, everyone is going to just be okay with paying more money to get less product because we're helping others. We can't help ourselves. Why are we helping others? That's just the truth. Truth is, if you don't have any money, you can't give more money to the government. It doesn't matter how much you do. If I have $10 and I have to choose between giving the government $10 and feeding my family, I'm feeding my family. The government can go pound sand. It doesn't matter to me. That's the truth. Not my truth, not their truth, the truth. Every human being is going to choose to protect their family, to take care of their family over somebody else. That's just how we're made. My children, my wife are more important to me than your children and your wife or your husband or your person. Okay. Great. I'm glad you love them. You love them just the way I love mine, and you would do the same thing. That's the truth. Saying that out loud to somebody should not require me to say, I'm sorry, but. The I'm sorry shouldn't have to be something that has to be said. I shouldn't have to preface the truth with I'm sorry. It doesn't be that. It's not that way. No one in history, Martin Luther King didn't say, I'm sorry, but I have a dream. That's not how it works. Harry Truman, before he dropped bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, didn't say, I'm sorry, but we have to end this war. When Hitler was taken down, we didn't say, I'm sorry, Hitler, but. The truth was, Hitler was doing something, we needed to stop him. Boom. The truth. That's the issue. The issue is, in our society today, we apologize before we do actions. We apologize after the actions, even if we apologize before the actions, to make sure everyone knew that we were sorry, but we had to do it. We discipline people. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to take away your iPad. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to ground you from this video game. How about, you did something wrong. You're grounded. Not, I'm sorry, but I have to do this. And it's confusing for people. Confusing for me. I look at myself every day going, why am I apologizing for nothing? I bring my grandson to school every day. I shouldn't apologize to my grandson if he's behind schedule and now he's late for school and he's missing something because he made bad choices. I didn't make the choices. He did. I shouldn't say, I'm sorry, but we're late because you couldn't get ready on time. That just sounds so stupid. And it is. And it's stupid because as a parent, I don't ever remember apologizing to my children before I discipline them. I'm sorry that you were an idiot and you have to stay home tonight. No, I never. If I did, I don't remember saying it. And I think the word I'm sorry has lost its power. Going back 20, 30, 50, 100, 1,000 years, when someone apologized, when someone said, hey, I screwed up, I'm sorry, it meant something. It was real. It had meaning. It had depth. It had reality behind it. Now it's like saying the word because, or it's like that, sorry, it's like, sorry, it's just a phrase we use. It's an instant reaction to something without having any meaning behind it. And that's silly. That's just stupid. It's ironically stupid. There's a reason why apologizing for being wrong hurts. It hurts because you think about what you did, you apologize for it, and it hurts you inside because you know you did something wrong. If you just apologize for everything, you lose the reason behind the apology. If I just say, hey honey, I'm sorry I got you the wrong coffee, when she orders that coffee and then she tells me, no, that's not what she ordered. Not my fault. I got her the coffee she ordered. I'm saying I'm sorry so she doesn't get upset with me. That's silly. Or, I'm sorry, you forgot this and I went and got it for you. I guess I'm sorry. I should have asked your permission to buy the thing that you forgot to buy, that you told me you forgot to buy, that you said we needed, but I went out and bought it and I didn't ask your permission. That's stupid. You don't do that. Or I'm sorry I changed your oil. Or it's doing something for somebody. You shouldn't have to ask permission to do something nice for somebody. You shouldn't apologize for doing something nice for somebody. Oh, well, I'm an independent person and you took away my independence. Shut up. If someone would come up to me and say, hey, I'm going to take care of this for you. I'm an independent person. Great. Take care of it. Hey, I'm going to go and do a tune-up on your car and clean it all out for you. Thank you. Not, hey, I'm an independent man. I do that my own. No, that's just silly. It's just, it seems like we've forgotten that we're human beings who are here to help one another. We now are afraid to help one another. And then when we do help each other, we apologize for helping you if we didn't ask permission about how you're feeling about us helping you. You should feel grateful. My wife got attacked 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago now, by a dog. She hasn't really taken the dogs out together for a walk since. She didn't have to really say, hey, you need to take the dogs out. She said, hey, I don't feel comfortable doing it. Okay, I'll do it. She shouldn't apologize for not doing it. She should just be okay with not doing it until she feels comfortable. I shouldn't get upset for her asking. Some days I do. Not going to lie. Some days I'm like, God, can't you just do it? But I'm also not going to apologize for having those feelings because that's human feelings. But I'm not going to drag it out on her saying, how dare you not walk the dogs? Again, you don't apologize for helping each other out. Now, someday will she feel comfortable walking the dogs? I hope so. By herself? I hope so. I really do. But if she doesn't, then we change our lives and it's fine. No one's getting hurt by it. No one's dying from it. But I'm not going to apologize for helping her, and I'm not going to apologize for feeling that some days I wish she could just do it. On that note, I do honestly apologize to a lot of people in my life. Some of them I don't really say it. I should. I wasn't always the best son to my mother, to my father, to my stepfather, or my other stepfather-ish. I wasn't. I was really kind of a hellion. I did a lot of dumb things, didn't listen really well, kind of did my own thing. And I'm sorry about that. And if my mother was still alive, I might even come to that conclusion. Before she died, I tried to talk to her about it, but I'm not sure how much of that she actually got. I had a lot of good teachers in school, and those teachers were great. They pushed me. They pushed. And because they pushed me every day, I kind of was a total jerk to them. And I get that. That's what students do. But I really kind of never respected what they did. And what's funny is, I become a teacher later and I realized, wow, I was a total jerkwad. And then my kids. I was a jerk to my kids a lot. I wasn't the best father. I could have been better. The students I taught, I could have been a much better teacher. Could have been a much better teacher because some days I just didn't have the motivation to do it. And because of that, some days I just would come in and I would kind of just wing it. I wouldn't be prepared, and I cared more about whatever I was feeling that day instead of what was best for my students. And that's on me. Army, same thing. Some days I just winged it. I didn't want to be there, and that's on me. So if you are any of those people in my life, I'm sorry. I really, truly am actually sorry. Some of my students will be like, oh yeah, I knew you cashed it in. I knew you weren't trying that hard. You know what? And if you called me out on it and I snapped at you, you're right. I was wrong. And I actually pretty sorry about that. I should have treated you all better and done better. Last thing I'm going to say, for this week at least, is I am sorry to all the people who have hurt through all my stupidness. I have made a lot of dumb decisions in my life, some of which have affected not just me, not just my family, but other people and their families. And I always thought when I was doing the stupid thing that either one, I could go back and fix it later. Two, I was doing it for the greater good, so it shouldn't be that bad. Or three, it wasn't hurting anybody. And all those are wrong. All those reasonings, all those things, they're just wrong. Every action we do as a human being, every action we do as a person on this planet, just in case you don't think you're a human being, every action, everything does on this planet, from a dog to a cat to a water buffalo to an octopus to a human being to a person who identifies as almost a human being to an alien to anything in between. Whatever we do has consequences, either positive or negative. Me telling you the truth about yourself could hurt your feelings, but it could also help you get to a better place. Me teaching you about the world and how to act in it could help you down the line. If you ever go to a place in the world and you don't remember anything but Mr. Mariello saying, hey, do this. It could also have a negative impact on you because you go to a country where I might have said something negative about it and you automatically have a bias against it. Every action has an opposite or equal reaction, right? That's science. But as humans, we do it a little bit differently. My outward expressions can give you emotions that can be positive or negative. Now, me saying, hey, I like your hair, could make you feel really good. Or It could make you feel like I'm patronizing you and being nice to you and your hair sucks. Me saying, hey, you're doing a great job, might make you feel like I'm being sarcastic and you suck, or wow, he's proud of me. My words are strong, but not always understood in the same role. I went to a concert with my wife, and she wasn't sure if I was going with her because I was trying to be nice, and I was trying to go out with my wife and make her happy, or if I really wanted to go. And that's what made me think, well, wait a minute. My wife can't even understand what I'm saying sometimes. So my words, I need to be better at conducting my words. But I also thought to myself, this is a human problem. This isn't a me problem. I struggle sometimes with understanding what people are saying to me and if they're being truthful, if they're actually appreciative, or if they're just saying it because that's what you're supposed to do. Live your truth. Live your life. Do you. As I say to a lot of people, do you, boo. Okay? Be who you need to be. Let me be who I need to be. Let's stop apologizing for being who we are. Let's stop apologizing for our truth, our facts in our life, hurting other people's feelings. Like it or not, we're never going to get along with anybody in our life 100%. No one in our life agrees with us 100% because we're not clones of one another. We all have free will. I like sports and video games. My wife does not. I like to just drive randomly to a coffee shop, buy coffee. My wife likes to go out and explore the world and see things. I like sitting at home sometimes and doing absolutely nothing productive. She can't do that. We're still married. We're still together. We're still happy most days. Just because we're not the same person doesn't mean we need to apologize for not being the same person. And neither should you. Just because your dad is one way and you're a different way doesn't mean your dad doesn't love you. It just means your dad is different. If your mom yells at you for the dumbest things and you think she hates you, she doesn't. She just doesn't understand you. And that's the bottom line. We can't always understand one another. We can't always get one another. But we can keep working towards understanding it. But we shouldn't apologize. Instead, we should talk more, learn about one another, and listen. Hamilton the musical says talk less, listen more. The problem with listening more and talking less is if all you're doing is listening, no one ever knows anything about you. There's got to be a balance. Speaking to somebody in a kind manner, explaining who you are, how you are, what you are, and then listening to them and giving them the same amount of attention that they gave you is what you want. A balance. And don't apologize. Hey, you're a Republican, I'm a Democrat, or the other way around. Great. It doesn't mean we should hate each other. It doesn't matter if you vote one way or I vote another way, because guess what? Tomorrow, the day after the election, a week after the election, 2 years after the election, we're still going to be on the same planet. We're still going to be struggling with grocery costs and fuel costs. We're still going to be struggling to figure out how to pay for college for kids. We're still going to be struggling on debt from electric companies and water companies and everybody else. It's just the world we live in. So we have two options. We can either run away from the world, apologize for everything we're doing, and just hide in a hole, or get out there and try to make the world a better place by listening to people about who they are and having them listen to us about who we are and not saying sorry for being who we are. Till next week, guys.